Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Tommy Lee here, and I just want to welcome everyone to day 7 of 21 days to 2021. I hope I picked a nice background for you guys here. I'm at a place called Spitting Caves on the east side of my home island of Oahu, and we're right here at about sunset. A lot of place where we bring a lot of our friends and crack some champagne and bubble juice right as the sun goes down. And during the winter months, that's when the humpback whales show up right behind me, and you guys just got to come on down and check it out one day. But today, very important topic, and want to talk to you guys a little bit about change. You know, you got to ask yourself what comes to mind when you hear the word change. See, some people, they love change, and some people they just deal with it as it comes, and some people just hate or despise change. You know, but one thing about change is that change is inevitable in life. And so, you know, if you hate change and you want everything to stay the same, you're basically setting yourself for a very uncomfortable and difficult life. And so change, you know, usually is uncomfortable. You know, our brains subconsciously steer us away from uncomfortable. And so what we've got to do is make a conscious decision to really embrace change and not be afraid of it. You know, right now, here we are at the end of 2020. And our goal is to have the best, or create the best 2021 ever. And so we're about we're at December 16th, so we're literally 15 days out, okay, from the New Year's, okay? And so that's where I want to plant the seed for you guys and let you know that if you're planning to make some serious drastic changes, a lot of people make what we call New Year's resolutions, if you will. It's already past the time, and now's the time, the minimum time, I should say, because it takes about 2 weeks to create some good habits or some good patterns. So in review, 2020 brought forth so many challenges, and there's a lot of tragic news all over the place. A lot of people and businesses were just absolutely just uprooted, and some people are at the very top of their game and literally overnight found themselves in absolute panic mode. You know, for kids, you know, they were ripped out of school, and they couldn't see their friends, and their type of psychological impact, it's real, you know, especially when it comes to sports. I remember when I was in school, sports was everything, and not to be able to hang out with your friends or play sports is just, I mean, that's just sucks, right? And nothing will replace actually having that physical interaction. And for me, I went from traveling all over the world. 2020 was set up to be the most epic travel season for us ever year, with multiple trips to Japan and Korea and Europe, and we're supposed to go to Spain and Greece and UK and just see the most amazing things, and we were so looking forward to it. And then, you know, of course, COVID-19 actually stole some lives from some people, and if that's you, my heart goes out to you and my sympathy, and I'm just will pray for you to make it through these very difficult times. And we can't control a lot of it, and sometimes it just sucks. But you know what my mentors taught me is, hey, you know what? It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. You know, the same bad and the same evil and the same challenges and the same gravity happen to us all, and it's how you set your sail, or how you chart your course, is really what's important. Okay, so in the last 2 weeks of 2020, what we've got to do is really make some adjustments, some fine-tuning, if you will, and we've got to have a good exit speed, because when it comes to New Year's, your exit speed and your mentality that you have at the end of the year happens to be your entry speed, okay, and your direction and your trajectory into your 2021. So 2021, a year from now, we're going to be in this same conversation. And you got to ask yourself, where do you want your life to go? Do you want everything to be the same as 2020? I highly doubt that. Do you want things to even go worse? Because I promise you, it could get worse. Your health could get worse. Your finances could get worse. Your business career could get worse, or it could get better. And if we plan to have better, we need to start changing a couple of things right now. You know, in order for things to change, you have to change. In order for things to get better, you've got to get better. And in order to have the things you've never had before, you've got to start doing some of the things that you've never done before. You know, a lot of people make these New Year's resolutions every day. I don't know why they do it on January 1st. You should New Year's resolutions every single day, because every day is the first day of the rest of your life, right? But what are the top New Year's resolutions that a lot of people make? Lose weight, or become healthier, right? Or quit smoking for the fifth time, or three, make more money, or I want to have more time in my life. But if you're just going to do the same thing that you did in 2020, how can you possibly expect to have a different result in 2021? Okay, so let's just spend a few minutes of time and discuss those things. What about a plan B? And what do we want to have by the end of next year? And the first steps you got to do, if you're going to take notes, or maybe you got a journal, or you want to jot some of these down, it's probably a good idea. But number one is you got to take inventory of your life. And what I mean by taking inventory is you got to know where you are, and you got to know where you aren't. Man, check out that sunset, guys. I hope this is coming out on the camera. Maybe it's a little bright there, but man, I just wish you guys were here. But when it comes to our health, it's not a bad idea at the beginning of the year to really go get a physical and get your blood work done and do a checkup, so what your goals are for next year, what you've got to tweak about your diet or tweak about your exercise, right? How about your spirituality? A lot of people have been through hell this year, but what I notice, and especially a lot of the friends that I hang out with, is they have a very healthy relationship with God. And so no matter how bad things got, they were able to overcome, to have a faith. And everybody, I don't know what your religion is out there, but you've got to have faith in something. And it's not such a bad idea to ask for God's help and to pray and to help people that are around you, okay? Also, when it comes to your finances, it's a good time to audit yourself and your bank accounts and your business and what your plans and your goals are, your financial goals. How about your skill set? What new skills do you really want to take this year? What do you want to get good at? How's your relationships? How's your friendships? How's your spouse? How's your relationship with your children? A lot of people have been locked up at home in lockdowns and such, and everybody's using Zoom and these kinds of things. But you know what? Hey, it's better than nothing, guys. And instead of just watching bad news on YouTube or on the news every single day, how about reaching out to a friend and just having a real conversation and checking up on them? And what about contribution? The law of contribution is so important. Is how we're going to give back this year. A lot of people, especially myself, when I was dead broke, everything's going wrong, business is crashing, lifestyle sucks, and my teachers are telling me, well, you got to give away. I'm like, what am I going to give away? I got nothing. I'm trying to change this situation around, and it's just the magic of being able to contribute something. Maybe your time, guys. We talked about this in a previous video, the attitude of gratitude, and give what you have, and there's something magical to that process, and it just turns everything around. Okay, so take inventory of your life 2 weeks before the new year's start. Number two, you've got to adopt a new mindset. You've got to have a mindset where you're willing to change and adapt, and if you want a new body, well, guess what? Something's got to give, right? Either you got to change something about your diet, you better change something about how much you exercise, or both. But you can't expect your body to get better or healthier or more in shape or drop 10-15 pounds with a blink of an eye or a magic pill, guys. There's just no trade-off for that. Okay, number three is tolerance. What are your tolerances? That's tougher as we get older, because the older we get, the more set into your ways you get, right? And I guess there's always a fill in the blank. Well, I don't do this, or I'll do this, but I draw the line right here. Who told you that? I got taught early on, if you defend your limitations, congratulations, you get to keep them, right? And no matter how good you're doing at your game, I promise you, that's just the ceiling and floors. You just got to know the difference between floors and ceilings. Let's take for example baseball. When we were all young, a lot of us played Little League, and maybe you were like the all-star, right? But then you make it into high school, and guess what? You're the rookie, okay? And then maybe in high school you went all-state and you were like big time. But guess what? After high school, if you did that good, you got into a college team, and you know what? You're the rookie again. And if you were like national champion in college, Well, maybe you might get lucky and make it into the minor leagues. But guess what? You're the rookie there too. And if you perform well in the minor leagues, obviously you make it into Major League Baseball. But again, you're the rookie. And even if you had an illustrious career, do you make it into the Hall of Fame or not? So whatever game you're playing, whatever where you are at life, in your career, in your health, in your relationships, guys, just know that, yeah, maybe you think you're winning or doing well, and that's great, but know that that's always the floor. Your ceiling is the floor to the next level, and there's always another level. Okay, and number 5 is learn how to fail forward. So many people are afraid to make mistakes. You know, we got to learn how to think like children again. And fail forward, guys. You know, it's the education system that's really got us thinking this way. Nothing against education, but you know, when you're a young kid and you make a mistake, you're penalized for it. Why should you be penalized for making a mistake when you learn from your mistakes, right? You can't fly without gravity. You can't get big or buff without heavy resistance, right? So we gotta learn how to fail and skid on our face and make mistakes, you know? Especially when it comes to things like rejection, or especially when it comes to things like persevering or the persistence test. Let me give you an example. Some of you guys got kids right now. Okay, imagine you have a 5-year-old niece or nephew, or a 6-year-old, and they just love M&Ms. I mean, that's just their favorite candy. They'll do anything for M&Ms. And let's say you're in a room of 100 people, and you tell that kid, hey, one of these aunties, one of these uncles has a big bag of M&Ms in their purse or their pocket, and all you've got to do is ask every single one of them, and they'll tell you yes or no. And if you find the right auntie or uncle, you're gonna score that bag of M&Ms. Well, what is that kid gonna do? They're gonna run up to the first person. Hey, auntie, you got the M&Ms? No. They're gonna go up to the next person. Hey, uncle, you got that bag of M&Ms? Nope. They're going, hey, uncle, you got the next bag of M&Ms? And they're gonna go all the way, auntie, uncle, all the way down the row for 100 people until they find that bag of M&Ms. So many times in life we've tried to make a fortune and you failed. You invested in something, it didn't work out. You got screwed over, just like me, screwed over, shot, backed up, the truck backed up over your head. It happens every single day. But if you try 100,000 times to earn a living, all you're ever gonna do is earn a living. And if you try 100,000 times to make a fortune, you may fail more than once over, but if you make it just once, what do you have? You've got a fortune. So we got to start thinking and dreaming like a kid again, and not being afraid to screw up. Let's go screw it up this year. Let's make a game plan and skid on our face, and when you do get up and run, you're off and running again. And number 6, the last one, is do the uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. You know, you got to get used to being in that uncomfortable zone, because that's where growth happens, and that's where you can step ahead. So 2020 was pretty obscene. There was a lot of challenges, but what that created was an opportunity and an environment for us to push and persevere and grow. And I promise you guys, that kind of pressure is not going to last forever. It's a season. And next year, when the things start to let up and all the vaccine kicks in and things get better, what's going to happen is you're going to have an opportunity to grow and get bigger. So our call to action today, for sure, is to start your list. You know, you got to start getting out a piece of paper, a journal, and start jotting some things down of your list of what you want to change and how you want to have a different result at the end of 2021. You know, go look in the mirror. You know, if it is to be, it is up to me. You know, don't blame people on the left or the right. Don't blame the economy. Don't blame what's happening all around you guys. Let's look in the mirror and work with that guy in the mirror, and you're gonna have a lot more to work with. Like, just, you know what, get off your ass if you're out of shape. Your assets, I mean, sorry. Or number 2 is hey, stop hitting the snooze button. Maybe you're like me, and back in the day I used to just snooze. Next thing you know, half your morning is gone. What if one of your resolutions is, I'm never going to hit that snooze button again, I'm going to jump out of bed? I know some friends that went through a program, they took a cold shower every day for 30 days. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that would sketch my back out. Maybe it's 30 minutes of sustained exercise every single day. Maybe it's 30 minutes of personal development, reading a good book or watching some good material videos. If you need some, I'll give you some. Okay? Or maybe do an act of kindness every single day. That's my challenge. I'm going to find a way to do an amazing act of kindness. And if you guys just start implementing some of these things and embracing change, I promise you guys we're going to set up for the most amazing 2021 ever. It's going to be epic, okay? And all you've got to do is between now and then keep tuning into these videos. If you think somebody could benefit from these videos, definitely share it with them. And I appreciate all the comments that you guys have been leaving and reaching out to me personally, and it means a lot to me, and that's exactly why we do this stuff. You know, I traveled all over the world and spent exorbitant amounts of money and lived in hotels and jumped on airplanes seeking for and paying attention to some people that just absolutely dominated their industries and were super achievers, overachievers, pro athletes, movie stars, multi-millionaires, and even a few billionaires, just to gather all this information and just give it to you. So don't get the messenger in the way with the message. Just take this information and go off and run and do good with it, and it's going to make a big impact upon you and your life. So you guys stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow on another great topic, and we're going to cover multiple topics leading up to 2021, all the way to a great game plan and a plan B, and we're going to talk about creating multiple sources of income. We're going to talk about how to sharpen your axe and do all of these great things leading up to when the fireworks go off on New Year's Eve, and it's going to be epic. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, and aloha from Hawaii.